with every passing minute. As more people are gathering in over here, they have actually managed to go ahead and block the roads of this very, very important area out here in the national capital, that is the civil lines. Currently, I'm standing at the other gate of the Delhi Chief Minister's office. Protesters have not been able to reach over here. They have already been stopped by the salutes of Delhi police, and that is the reason why we are expecting that within the next few minutes, as we speak, the Delhi Chief Minister would be taken out from this gate and would be taken straight to the Enforcement Directorate office, where he would be kept in the lockup. You can see the kind of security arrangements have been made. The area has been cleared. In fact, a cordon off has already been made to keep the media at bay as well. So yes, definitely, it seems like in the next few minutes the Delhi Chief Minister would be taken out, and it is from this route that the Chief Minister would be taken out, and then would be taken away from here. So yes, it remains to be seen when will that happen. But definitely, the Enforcement Directorate is now absolutely sure that they need to question the Chief Minister in their custody, and hence this decision has been taken by the investigating officer of this matter to take Arvind Kejriwal under their custody and take him to the Enforcement Directorate. So yes, just within the next few minutes, we are expecting that he would be taken out from this gate and would be taken to the Enforcement Directorate office, Zaga.
All right, let me also go back to Arunima. Arunima, in terms of, we had K. Kavita's arrest over the weekend last. All right, Ananya is also now joining us. Ananya, we had K. Kavita's arrest, which happened over the last weekend. And then ever since she was arrested, the ED, I believe, also put out a formal statement outlining what they believed and what they alleged was her role. And that's when they named Kejriwal, and they said that there were kickbacks allegedly to the tune of 100 crore rupees that went into the Aam Aadmi Party's coffers, which then they used to fight elections in Punjab and in Goa. Tell us, what is the case against Arvind Kejriwal, particularly in what has been mentioned in the charge sheet, the calls with Samir Mahindru, the meeting with the sons of one of the MPs from Telangana? Just walk us through what has been mentioned in reference to Arvind Kejriwal in the multiple charge sheets in this case.
Security forces are clearing the roads here outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. You can see high drama unfolding here, where the security forces just a while ago took away certain protesters from here, and the RAF is trying to open the traffic on these roads right adjacent to, in fact, the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. You can see the action of the forces right here. You can see the RAF coming into action. You can see these people trying to control the law and order situation here, trying to maintain and see no kind of uncertainty happens. Coming back to the Delhi liquor policy case, we saw a high-profile arrest taking place just a few days ago of K. Kavita, and her remand note, Zaka, was a very, very key aspect why Arvind Kejriwal today has been arrested, because that remand note mentions the statement of Manguta Reddy, YSRCP MP, whose son was a part of this South lobby, who was a beneficiary, alleged beneficiary, as alleged by the Enforcement Directorate. In this particular case, you can see these visuals, how these protesters are being taken away by the Delhi police and the security forces. You can see that the RAF, the Delhi police, trying to pull out these protesters from here. There are high drama unfolding outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. You can see how these people are trying to resist the Delhi police and the RAF, who are trying to maintain the law and order situation. They are not, succumbing to the Delhi police's request that please vacate this particular road. The traffic has to be, kept going. But you can see how these protesters are being taken away by the Delhi police. These are people who had come out in support of the Delhi Chief Minister. While there were news that the ED teams had reached, in fact, the Delhi Chief Minister's residence, you can see these people being taken away by the Delhi police and the RAF, who are trying, in fact, to maintain a law and order situation, who are trying to open these roads for general traffic to pass, and the Delhi police making all efforts to take away these protesters who have now sit on the roads, who are in fact who are being dragged on these roads, who are trying to stay and resist the security forces here. But this case has unfolded in a very unlikely manner. If you remember, just a few days ago, the CBI had also told the Delhi court that a high-profile arrest is likely to happen in this particular case. Not only this, What was also very, very clear is that K. Kavita, it was a submission, it was a remand paper that clearly mentioned that K. Kavita had met Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who had in turn asked her to arrange 400 crore rupees, which was to be given as kickbacks for a favorable policy by, in fact, the Delhi government, and that had resulted into this particular Liquorgate saga, as we popularly call it, and you can see the high drama unfolding outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence.
All right, Arunima, just walk our viewers through. There have been at least one judgment of the Delhi High Court recently, which talked about Section 50 and the alleged misuse of Section 50 and Section 19 of the PMLA to arrest political opponents, as it were, in this case, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and that mere evasive answers or non-cooperation does not necessarily mean that the investigating agency has the automatic right to arrest. Just walk us through, how this may or may not shape the case that the ED has against the Delhi Chief Minister, who they've now arrested, because the entire opposition has been tweeting for the better part of the last 1 hour that democracy is being stifled and the opposition is being killed using agencies like the ED, IT, and CBI.
Yes, and before I answer that question, I would ask Narendra to just show you around. Section 144 CRPC is imposed here. That's the board outside the Enforcement Directorate office. There is police deployment. The entire lane leading up to ED office has been sealed. So there's no vehicle being allowed from this side. One gate has been left open, that too only for official vehicles to come in. So that's the feel and sense of the ED office here in New Delhi. But to answer your question about the case that the ED is hoping to build against Arvind Kejriwal, they have already filed multiple charge sheets in this matter. Trial has not yet begun. Manish Sisodia was in jail. Sanjay Singh is in jail. Satyendra Jain has been forced to go back to jail after the recent judicial pronouncement. Now the national convener of the party, Arvind Kejriwal himself, is in custody. So politically speaking, Aam Aadmi Party is in dire straits at the moment. But the ED argues that, matters came to this because of non-cooperation of the highest order. What they're going to cite, yes, you're right, there has been previous orders from the Supreme Court that just because somebody is evasive or not being cooperative should not be grounds enough for arrest. But in this case, ED's legal team and the investigating team both are on the same page, that evading 9 summons clearly shows that you have complete disregard for the law and for the agency. Hemant Soren also went by the same route and ultimately he was taken into custody. And now the second chief minister from the opposition rank, Arvind Kejriwal, has had to face arrest as well. ED says that we have enough proof. K. Kavita's questioning, evidence after Sanjay Singh's questioning, raids on personal aides of Arvind Kejriwal have given us enough material and we want to confront him with that. So over the next 12 hours or so before he's produced in court, ED's IO will try and seek some of those answers and they will press for custody when he's produced in the Rouse Avenue court. At least 10 days, could be more. Let's see if the court agrees.
All right. Arunima there with details from outside the Enforcement Directorate's office. Let me go across to some of our guests who are joining us. Mr. Mahesh Bigala is a leader of the BRS party. Anuja Kapoor is spokesperson with the BJP. Rukmini Singh is a lawyer. Mr. Bigala, let me ask you first. The final sort of closing in of the net on Arvind Kejriwal was after the arrest of your leader, K. Kavita, last Saturday. It was after that that the ED issued a statement which, for the first time, named Mr. Arvind Kejriwal formally in an ED statement. The ED's contention is that the whole route, the whole change of policy was designed in a way to favor certain liquor operators, and they in turn paid K. Kavita, who in turn allegedly paid the Aam Aadmi Party kickbacks for its election campaigns in Punjab and Goa, etc. So please respond to what the ED's case so far, at least what they've put out in the public domain, against both your leader and basis that they have today now arrested the Delhi Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal.
So the ED and CBI have been investigating this case for the last 2 years. The case is not new. They've been investigating for the last 2 years. But what we need to look at is the timing of the arrest and when the elections are coming up the next month in the April and month of May. So this is nothing but more of politically motivated case. And we know that the ED, they have filed until unless it's proven nobody is guilty, but the ED has filed the charge sheet against our leader Kavita and again Arvind Kejriwal ji and several other people. But the timing, they want to get the arrest and the gain. It's a political gain for the BJP party.
Okay. 1 second, Mr. Vikas. I'll come back to you. Sorry for the interruption, but Mr. Vikas Singh is a former Additional Solicitor General to the Government of India. Thank you very much, Mr. Singh, for speaking with us. If you can explain to our viewers in layman terms the basis on which Mr. Kejriwal has been arrested, because so far he's not been named as an accused in any of the charge sheets. The references to Mr. Kejriwal are allegedly one phone call that happened between Samir Mahindra and one of the aides of Mr. Kejriwal, and another instance after the arrest of Ms. Kavita, which came to light that he met with the son of a MP of one of the Telugu parties, where again this whole liquor scam was discussed. Is this grounds enough for arrest under PMLA?
Well, so as far as the facts are concerned, it is very difficult for me to comment on the basis of what you tell me as the facts that you know about. So it's not something which can be second guessed. But you know, the more startling thing is that this is the 9th summon, and whatever it is, we are governed by the rule of law, and I don't think anybody can claim to be above the law. And the Chief Minister feels that he is above the law, then he is definitely and sadly mistaken. So if you felt that the whole case is completely motivated or it is a bogus case, why did you challenge the very first summon? I mean, why have you waited for the 8th summon and then gone to the High Court? And High Court also did not grant you an ex parte. Every day we appear in court and every day we ask for an ex parte because we say there is a likelihood of an arrest. So whatever it be, even though the High Court may have issued notice, High Court did not grant an ex parte stay. So obviously High Court has seen something on the side of the ED to not grant an ex parte stay. So obviously the legal process has not gone in your favor so far. If it has not gone in your favor, even if you say it is a politically motivated case, which it may be, I can't comment on that because that's something which I don't have any privy. But as a legal person, I feel this a little unnerving that somebody can just ignore a summon as if that he doesn't believe in the rule of law, doesn't go to the court of law, doesn't challenge the summon, and he waits for the 8th summon to go to a court of law, and then also he gets simply notice. He's not able to make out a case for an ex parte stay. So I don't see any impediment in the ED arresting somebody who has not responded to the 9 summons issued to him.
No, I believe that Mr. Kejriwal did go and ask for quashing and the court refused to quash it. But I do want to ask you, Mr. Singh, recently there was a Delhi High Court judgment specifically dealing with Section 19, Section 50 of the PMLA. This is, of course, what is used to arrest individuals who are accused. And the court had said that mere non-cooperation or giving evasive answers cannot be grounds under Section 19 or 50 for arrest of these individuals. May that or may that not come into play in this case?
So actually, if you see, there is a fundamental right also of every individual in this country of remaining silent. So nobody can be arrested for not answering a question of the investigating agencies. That is a completely separate issue altogether. And the fact that you've not answered can never be a ground for an arrest. But unfortunately, this is not how the courts have been interpreting the law. Because if you recall, even Mr. Manish Sisodia was arrested only because he was not answering the questions, which according to me is a fundamental right to remain silent. And the US Supreme Court has held that the right to remain silent is definitely a right vested in every citizen of a country. So you can't be compelled to answer questions if you if you just want to keep quiet. So that's a separate debate, but that's unfortunately not being, implemented in this country. The courts have not been, following this dictum. They have been granting, not been granting bail simply on the ground that a person says that I have a right to remain silent. So I don't see how Arvind Kejriwal can be singled out in this kind of treatment. If you ask my personal view, I would say that definitely every individual has a right to remain silent. But unfortunately, the courts have not given this liberty to people. And if they have not given it to people in this country, then that's the rule of law.
Okay. I do also want to ask you, now the Kejriwal legal team has approached the Supreme Court. They're asking for an immediate hearing. They're pressing for a midnight hearing, perceived as out of the way hearings, as it were.
Very, very difficult for me to second guess what the Chief Justice of India will do. But the way he granted a hearing to Mr. Soren, when he had already resigned as a Chief Minister, I will not be surprised that Mr. Kejriwal also gets a hearing. But in my view, if you ask my personal view, I don't think he has made out any case for a midnight hearing, because if this is the 9th summon, if he has not responded to 8 summons, then why should the court go out of turn and hear him at midnight if he had ample time for the last 2 months to go to a court and get these summons stayed or quashed?
Okay.
Then why the court do a midnight hearing for him and grant him this hearing? So I leave it. I don't want to second guess the Chief Justice.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Mr. Vikas Singh. Let me now bring in our other guests as well. Anuja Kapoor of the BJP, Rukmini Singh is a lawyer, Susiben Shah is a lawyer and spokesperson for the Shiv Sena Shinde faction, Anmol Pawar, spokesperson for the Aam Aadmi Party, will also be joining us. Anuja Kapoor, the charge against you, and this is a political charge, every opposition party in this country is saying BJP is stifling democracy, it is killing the opposition, it is using IT, CBI, ED, etc. to stifle the voice of the opposition. You're putting all opposition leaders under frivolous cases, under pretentious cases, only to try and finish off the opposition so that you can get 370 seats or 400 seats. Please respond to the opposition's charge.
Good evening to everyone. I do not understand what kind of allegation they are trying to put it up to the BJP party. As I'm a spokesperson to BJP and I'm not spokesperson to ED, in the same manner, the ED it's an own constitutional thing and it is a legally bounded rules and regulations which have been followed. Did Kejriwal ask the BJP party that they want to open up this Delhi liquor case? Did they inquire about with the BJP party? How can BJP party be a party to Arvind Kejriwal? We are just a party like Arvind Kejriwal's party, like Congress party. So how does a party can be a party to an ED or a CBI?
Ma'am,
So
your party is ruling the central government. Your party is ruling, I think, in 15 or 16 states.
But how would BJP
the allegation is that you're using. You are using. No, the political party, which is the ruling party, is using the agencies to settle political scores. That is the allegation against you.
That is what I'm saying, Zakir. This is impossible because we cannot just hold on this. We are not the people who are putting the CBI and ED in cage parrot. We have Modi ji is the Prime Minister of India, is not the President of BJP. So I need to understand that how they are trying to put CBI and ED into the pocket of BJP party. So this is something which is really need to be understood again and again to all the opposition parties. We have also been in the opposition in Congress times. ED and CBI has been a cage parrot of Congress, has never put a finger on the BJP at that moment also. I would like to put it forward. Okay. Arvind Kejriwal's deeds have come up. They have come up to a closure now. He's been exposed and the exposure is done by himself. He went to the court to grant the bill.
Let me ask Anmol Pawar of the Aam Aadmi Party. 9 summons is what the Chief Minister skipped, including the latest one today. He went to the Delhi High Court, asked for interim protection. The court refused to give him interim protection. If he has nothing to hide, if he's not corrupt, why is he not showing up before the ED and answering these questions? ED has been summoning him since November. 4.5 months they have waited before this arrest. Mr. Pawar.
Jaka, today is a black day in Indian democracy as a sitting CM has been arrested in a so-called liquor scam, which is nothing but an investigation scam. The 9 summons which were served on Mr. Kejriwal were duly replied by him. He asked categorically whether he was arrested, whether he was to be inquired as an accused or as a witness. Today, the counsel for the ED has admitted that he's not an accused and he is a witness then he is covered by the judgment of Honorable Supreme Court, Pankaj Bansal versus Union of India, which you referred just now, which says that under Section 50, read with Section 90, a witness cannot be arrested. Now the ED and the Bharatiya Janata Party, on whose behest this agency is working, they must answer why they have arrested Mr. Kejriwal.
Okay.
And we also make them very clear that we won't suppress before them. We won't suppress before the murderers of democracy and constitution, howsoever hard they may try.
I
The
want
matter
to
was
ask
sub judice.
Rukmini Singh, what the ED charge sheet says is 2 instances where Mr. Kejriwal, one of them happens to be a video call with one of the accused. In the other instance, it happens to be a physical meeting with one of the beneficiaries of the changed liquor policy. Are these grounds for arrest in PMLA because he is being accused of changing the policy to benefit certain private players, and in turn, those private players gave kickbacks to the Aam Aadmi Party for it to fight elections in Goa, Punjab, etc.? Rukmini Singh.
Oh, definitely. These are allegations, and he can be arrested on these allegations. So, Arvind Kejriwal, the ED is giving their proof in the court, and on basis of those proofs, High Court has issued summons, which Arvind Kejriwal has evaded, and these are grounds of arrest, definitely, and thereby ED has come to his residence to arrest him. Not just this, time and again, I would like to add here that Arvind Kejriwal and his party has been betraying the voters of Delhi. Today itself, I filed a PIL in court against Delhi government. Delhi government has been using the consolidated fund of the state since 2013 to pay the imams and muezzins of Delhi Waqf Board and non-Waqf Board. Now, there's also been a steep jump in the funds from 2 crores to 10 crores. This is complete politics of appeasement by Arvind Kejriwal.
No, ma'am, let's stick to the issue at hand. The issue at hand is the alleged corruption in the Liquorgate scam. Let's stick to that issue, please. Rukmini Singh, let's talk about the alleged Liquorgate scam and Mr. Kejriwal's alleged role in the Liquorgate scam. Let's not deviate into other topics, please.
Arvind Kejriwal has been evading ED notices since November. He has time for Vipassana, he has time to campaign for Madhya Pradesh election, but not appear for ED summons. He has called this situation himself. Now they're saying that he's getting arrested. People are saying that this is a false arrest, impersonating. But the truth is that ED has been giving, the High Court has noticed him, and ED has been sending notices, but he's been clearly evading it. So he's only called the situation. Now he's being arrested. It is completely a fair charge, and he should be arrested on this.
Okay, let me also get Susiben Shah from the Shinde Sena to respond to all political parties are tweeting, including opposition parties from Maharashtra, saying the fact that Mr. Kejriwal's arrest is happening after the model code of conduct has been in place, that they are saying is a mockery of the election process. It's a mockery of the fact that the government is still using investigating agencies to take coercive action. It is making the playing field uneven or unlevel, is the charge against your allies, the BJP and your ruling government.
Good evening to all in Jai Maharashtra. You see, this is coming for the past 2 years. It was in 2022 that the policy was scrapped. It was at 2022 that investigation was sought in and ED got into investigating the matter. 9 times the summons were served, right from November. There were various occasions Mr. Kejriwal could have appeared before the ED, given the explanation. If he was clean, he should have gone there, given his hearing. In this particular matter, Mr. Singh, Mr. Sisodia have been arrested. Supreme Court has looked into the case. The bails have been rejected. The High Court in this matter of Mr. Kejriwal, they heard the matter. We have to rely on the wisdom of the High Court and the Supreme Court. And prima facie, they feel that this needs to be investigated. And therefore, Mr. Kejriwal, 9 months coming, should should have gone to the ED and produced his case before them. Why is he holding Delhi to ransom today, harassing the Delhiites? I fail to understand.
All right. I believe Delhi police, you can see those pictures. They're putting out a cordon outside the residence of the chief minister to try and keep the crowds from not coming close to the gates of the residence. I believe they are preparing now to try and manage the crowd and to take Mr. Kejriwal away in that blue truck belonging to the Delhi police. He will be taken to the ED office, which is in central Delhi, where, of course, he will be questioned. And tomorrow, he will have to be produced in court. So think about it. If the court gives the ED custody, Mr. Kejriwal will be spending Holi, which is one of the most important festivals here in northern India. He will be spending Holi in custody, in a lockup in ED custody. That is if of course the court grants the ED custody. But this is a very, very big development, both from a legal and a political point of view. The India Alliance has been putting out statement after statement. Various leaders from Sharad Pawar to the Congress Party's leaders have all condemned the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal. Of course, the merits of the case will have to be decided by a court of law. Their contention is on A, the timing, B, the fact that it's happening even as Lok Sabha elections have been called and the model code of conduct is in place. So, Anuja Kapoor, please respond to that. They're also criticizing the Election Commission, saying, how can the Election Commission allow for this flagrant use of agencies to intimidate opposition while the election process is already on? Ma'am.
Zaka, I feel this is something which, that when he was doing corruption, he was not thinking on this. And when the Election Commission is on a different concept and ED is a different concept. So what is happening is right now is that when he went to the court also, the court did not stay anything, and ED has been allowed to give him the summons. So did that court say that because it is going to be holy or there is a code of conduct, please don't give ED summons to Arvind Kejriwal? No, because this is a rule of law. How does anything which has been done in an event, and the trail has been, even the Supreme Court has justified with the trail, which is the windfall gains in Manish Sisodia's area, and it was of rupees 338 crore was already been that kind of a trail has already been brought up in front of the Supreme Court. So we are looking into the events which are being following. It is not that somebody is picking one from here, one from there. No. So what we are looking into is that Arvind Kejriwal should have given up his, the documents in front of the ED. He should not have evased from all the summons. He should have appeared in that manner rather than making a mockery of this. He should have set an example once again when he wanted to say that he is a non-corrupt party.
Anmol Pawar, the fact that the Chief Minister has been referred to on 2 occasions, one a FaceTime meeting, the other a physical meeting, in the ED charge sheet, the fact that Mr. Manish Sisodia, who was the Deputy Chief Minister under Mr. Kejriwal, has moved for bail. He's been in jail now for the better part of almost a year now, in fact, more than a year now. The fact that in Manish Sisodia's case, he's moved for bail at least 12 times, and it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. Even the Supreme Court has refused to give him bail. So prima facie, there has to be some merit in that case for even the Supreme Court to have rejected Mr. Sisodia's bail. Mr.
Zaka, there was 3 specific... Zaka, after investigating for more than 2 years, after obtaining statements of more than 500 witnesses, after conducting more than 700 raids, ED has failed to recover a single penny in this so-called investigation scam. The Honorable Supreme Court categorically denied the contentions made by Enforcement Directorate that a bribe was paid to Manish Sisodia. In fact, that was not even a charge and was not even argued. The fact is that yesterday we went to the Honorable Delhi High Court and we challenged the summons which were issued to Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal ji. The ED vehemently opposed and said that the petition is not maintainable. But the court did not listen to their contentions and issued a notice and asked them to file a reply so that the matter can be dealt with after hearing both the sides. Today, the Honorable Delhi High Court repeatedly questioned the Enforcement Directorate as to why there couldn't be a hearing on this matter? And why shouldn't an interim relief be granted to Honorable Delhi CM? They also sought that if they are in possession of a single piece of evidence, then they must show it to the court. But they failed to provide even a single piece of evidence. And the matter is to be heard on 22nd April. When the matter is sub judice, then what was the hurry for the Enforcement Directorate to arrest Mr. Kejriwal when they themselves have admitted that he's not an accused, neither the party has been made an accused, he's been called in an individual capacity. And if he's a witness, then he's covered by the judgment of Honorable Supreme Court of India, which has been passed last year.
Let me also bring
There's
in,
no basis.
There
is no basis. This urgency exhibited by Mr. Modi's administration to apprehend Kejriwal at any cost indicates that Mr. Modi fears Kejriwal. He's the only leader who has been opposing the policies of central government, which is anti-people, which is anti-India.
That's a political charge. Let me ask Rukmini Singh, and I keep coming back to this, that one of the contentions that the opposition has made, and remember, Mr. Kejriwal becomes the second sitting chief minister to be arrested. Hemant Soren of Jharkhand, the Jharkhand chief minister, of course, he resigned just hours before he was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. But a sitting chief minister being arrested for a corruption case has happened very rarely. Very, very rarely. Even in the case of Lalu Prasad Yadav, who was arrested in the fodder scam case, of course, he instilled his wife, Rabri Devi, to become the chief minister of Bihar while he was arrested. But for a sitting chief minister to be arrested is an extreme rarity in Indian politics. And that too, it is happening at the time of the model code, at the time of elections having been declared. But Rukmini saying, will any of this make a material difference when Mr. Kejriwal's lawyers move the court? They've asked for an urgent midnight hearing by the Supreme Court. But will any of this have any kind of forbearance on the case itself? Because ultimately, like I said earlier, the merits of the case have been gone into while the bail of Mr. Sisodia, Mr. Sanjay Singh, etc. was being heard, and none of them are even being given bail. Ultimately, there has to be some meat to this case, some merit to this case for even the Supreme Court to have denied bail to these individuals.
So the allegations are very serious. Even if it's Hemant Soren or Arvind Kejriwal, if the allegations are serious, doesn't matter whether it's a CM or whoever it is, they will be arrested. They will be arrested for it. And if the situation calls for sending them to jail or whatever, they will be sent to jail. They cannot evade any crime like this. And even if it is, so Hemant Soren resigned. Arvind Kejriwal said he won't resign. He will. He has asked for hearing in the Supreme Court for tonight. That is the Supreme Court's discretion whether they will hear the case. However, there is serious merit in the case. That's why the bail of Satyendra Jain and Manish Sisodia has been rejected time and again. And the Delhi government, Kejriwal government, has betrayed the voters of Delhi. They have failed in their governance. And it's right out there.
Mr. Begala, the fact is, fine, the legal case, the merits and the demerits of the case will have to be decided in a court of law. Ultimately, a court of law has to come to the conclusion as to whether Mr. Kejriwal is guilty of corruption or not guilty of corruption. But in the public perception, in the public court, Mr. Begala, and this is the way the BJP and the Prime Minister himself have framed it, that he is waging a war against corruption and all you guys are corrupt. And that is the public perception, that Modi ne भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ जंग लड़ाई है.
What if Arvind Kejriwal joins NDA? Let me ask you the same question: that what if he becomes if he joins part of NDA, will he become corrupt or will he become non-corrupt? Are there no corrupt politicians in the part of NDA or even BJP? There are no corrupt politicians. Why the investigation is not going on BJP leaders? Why on just the opposition leaders? How many inquiries are going on? How many investigations are going on the BJP leaders? That's the nation is asking the question to the Modi. That the Bhrashtachar ke liye, if you want to fight for a start from the BJP first before attacking the opposition leaders. This is nothing but politically motivated cases, and the timing, the way that frame the cases exactly right before the election to prove that all these opposition parties are corrupt But the people will definitely teach the lesson in the coming election. They're looking at 370, but definitely it will be even difficult even to get the government into coming back to the party. That's how they're using everything. They're not leaving any stone unturned to come back into the power. The death price in the coming election.
Susiben Shah, the point that Mr. Bigala made in the instance of Maharashtra, you accused the no less than one of the deputy chief ministers of being involved in the irrigation scam, and today he's a deputy chief minister just because he has split from the NCP and has joined your alliance. So this is the opposition's charge is BJP is some kind of a washing machine. उसके अंदर भ्रष्ट लोगों को डाल दो and they come out squeaky clean. Laundry clean हो जाएगी.
Now, I'll tell you this, as far as the Bhrashtachar is concerned, 300 crores found from a Congress MLA's residence. We had to get 2 tempos. There were 2 tempos called to just collect the money. SBI's money counting machine failed. So what are we talking about corrupt and non-corrupt, especially the opposition party? Look at TMC, crores of rupees from their office bearers and MLAs. So as far as corruption is concerned, I don't think any of the opposition party has the teeth to talk about it. As far as Shri Ajit Pawarji is concerned, there was an investigation launched. He was given a clean chit. It's only thereafter he joined the Mahayuti Sarkar. As far as Kejriwal ji is concerned and the current case is concerned, I think Mr. Kejriwal saw it coming, and it is he wanted to seek a political mileage. That is the reason he didn't move for anticipatory bail. He didn't appear 8 times before the ED. Now, if you challenge the wisdom of the court, if you challenge the... Let me complete, please. I didn't intervene when you were speaking. Let me complete what I have to say. If you don't follow the rule of law, you are here to challenge the wisdom of the Supreme Court, of the High Court, and the ED. You are bound to pay the price. If you think that you were clean, you should have gone to the ED, said what you had to. I'm sure the ED would have listened to. Would have given you a fair chance of a hearing. 8 times since November. Whom are we trying to fool?
Okay, Anmol Pawar, the other problem that you have is now you have to decide on a chief minister. Now, politically, you can say, okay, Mr. Kejriwal will continue to run Delhi from jail. But that's not what the people of Delhi voted for. They voted for a full-time chief minister. So how are you going to fix that problem? Who's going to be the next chief minister?
We have made it very clear that the mandate given by the people of Delhi is for Mr. Kejriwal. He is the chief minister and he will remain the chief minister of Delhi. And But
how do you run a state from inside jail?
Because he's not a convict and there's no law which bars him from running the government from jail. There's no such precedent, no such law by either the Supreme Court or any of the precedents which says that a sitting CM cannot run the government from jail. He will continue to remain chief minister.
But in numerous instances where ministers of a cabinet or ministers of a council are arrested, in some instances the chief minister keeps the portfolio or assigns it to somebody else. I can't think of any instance where even a minister who's been arrested is running his portfolio, running his department from inside jail.
Exactly.
Zaka, the fact is that this arrest, which has been done by the Enforcement Directorate working at the behest of Bharatiya Janata Party, is evident. It is evident from the acts of Enforcement Directorate that they are making every effort to prevent Kejriwal from fighting the next elections and campaigning against the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay.
Every effort
Anuja
has
Kapoor,
been made.
you have taken Hemant Soren away from campaigning. You have taken Arvind Kejriwal away from campaigning. I mean, to be doing this after the election process has kicked in, all of them are tweeting. Rahul Gandhi is tweeting, Sharad Pawar is tweeting कि BJP or Modi डर गए.
Why would Modi ji will he will be scared of? He is already winning the mandate. So there is nothing that we would be looking into the opposition regarding the ED and CBI. Again, every time the same question has been asked. as I said, the said events with Vijay Nair and there are many people, Sanjay Singh and these Manish Sisodiya, and we talk about the people who have already been arrested. 15 persons have already been arrested, and 245 locations has been searched. And I think you remember there were Manish Sisodiya, there were many phones which have been he damaged them, and the things have already been. So this is something which is very serious, and it should be taken up in that manner only. And trying to bringing up a perception where Arvind Kejriwal said that even the investigation has started on someone, the person should resign from the post. So this is not our saying, it is the saying of the Arvind Kejriwal. And that is what he said, that we should resign from the post. And when you come clean or whatever the situation is, come and join back. Delhiites have voted for a non-corrupt Arvind Kejriwal. He was the one who was being given mandate. When he was given mandate, was he a corrupt Arvind Kejriwal, which he is now an accused? No. Was it? Because now he is. So I think he should resign from his post with dignity, because this is what he should be doing, because there are many approvers and many witnesses and there are many evidences which is against him. You are the conveyor, national conveyor. You have to understand that you are Delhi CM, under whose the Delhi new policy was being formulated and scrapped. Imagine, Zaka, are they serious on what laws are they talking about?
Okay, I believe Atishi, one of the ministers in the Delhi government, is speaking. Can we see if we can play that out? Of course, Saurabh Bharadwaj and Atishi have been speaking to the press intermittently in the last 3-4 hours. Let's listen to what she's saying.
हम इस देश के संविधान की लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं और हम इस देश के संविधान को बचाने के लिए लड़ाई लड़ते रहेंगे। लोकसभा चुनाव के जस्ट पहले चुनाव की घोषणा होने के बाद इस प्रकार से दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को गिरफ्तार करना सिर्फ एक चीज दिखाता है कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से डरते हैं। वो लोकतंत्र को खत्म करना चाहते हैं। वो एक एक करके सभी विपक्ष के नेताओं को जेल में डालना चाहते हैं। ये क्या तरीका है कि चुनाव जीतने का, लड़ने का, जीतने का क्या तरीका है? इस देश में क्या लोकतंत्र बचेगा अगर चुनाव से पहले आप विपक्ष के हर नेता को जेल में डाल दोगे, आप विपक्ष की हर पार्टी का बैंक अकाउंट फ्रीज कर दोगे? तो ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की एक राजनीतिक साजिश है।
All right, so that was Atishi, and this is a common thread that all the opposition parties of the India Alliance are alleging that this has been done on the eve of elections because the Narendra Modi government, A, is stifling opposition, it is killing the opposition, it is killing democracy, and B, also that Mr. Modi's government is afraid that they will not get the majority, or they will not get the majority in the kind of numbers that has been talked about, 370 and 400 and so on. Therefore, they are stifling the opposition to do this. This is, of course, the opposition's political charge. But ultimately, whether Mr. Kejriwal is corrupt or not will have to be proved inside a court of law. So let's bring you up to speed with what's happening right now. The formal arrest has been recorded. The arrest memo has been presented to the accused. The signatures have been sought. After this, Mr. Kejriwal will be taken out of his residence. He will be moved to the ED headquarters. Overnight, Mr. Kejriwal will be kept in the ED headquarters where there will be further questioning. The ED officials will try and confront him with the evidence and the testimonies and the electronic evidence that they've had that was recovered from other accused who've been arrested in this case, including the likes of K. Kavita. After which, tomorrow at some point, within 24 hours of the arrest being shown, Mr. Kejriwal will have to be produced in a court in Delhi. And if the court is convinced that the ED needs more time to question him, perhaps not just confront him with the evidence that they've recovered, but also confront him with other accused persons in this case. If the court gives the ED custody of Mr. Kejriwal, then Mr. Kejriwal will be spending his Holi, which happens to be one of the most important festivals here in the Hindi heartland. He will be spending Holi in a lockup or in custody of an investigating agency. But Anmol Pawar, the fact is, you can say whatever you want. India Alliance is saying this is murder of democracy, etc., etc. But we're not seeing that on the ground. On the ground, it doesn't seem like, people are concerned, or that people are coming out to the streets, or that there is genuine sympathy for what is happening. Even when Hemant Soren was arrested, the popular perception seems to be that, this is a war that Mr. Modi is waging against allegedly corrupt leaders of the opposition. And the public sentiment seems to be with Mr. Modi.
Zaka, the fact is that initially Bharatiya Janata Party used to say that Aurobindo Pharma, one of the company who was alleged as a kingpin in this so-called liquor scam, on November 2022, they purchased electoral bonds and donated it to Bharatiya Janata Party. After 3-4 months, they were granted bail. And immediately thereafter, Sarath Chandra Reddy, he turned into an approver. So this is the reality of this investigation scam. And as far as public is concerned, there are thousands of Aam Aadmi Party workers on the street, but the police is not allowing them to come near the residence of Honorable Delhi CM.
No.
There's a huge support. There's a huge support for Mr. Kejriwal.
That can't be an excuse for saying that, look, Delhiites are boiling over, or Delhiites are feeling completely let down tonight or angry tonight. That's not what we're seeing on the ground, Anmol Pawar.
Zaka,
and that can't be because there are a few barricades outside the Chief Minister's residence.
Zaka, more than 200 cases have been filed against Aam Aadmi Party leaders in the past 10 years. Several investigations, several raids have been conducted, but the Delhi people have always given mandate to Aam Aadmi Party. They have proved that the only party which is working for the progress and development of Delhi is Aam Aadmi Party. And that is why they have given us mandate in 2013, 2015, 2020 in Delhi and in Punjab as well.
So let me ask Anuja Kapoor to respond to that, because oftentimes the BJP says, you have a central government with 303 seats, you have 15 or 16 state governments. The Delhiites have voted for Aam Aadmi Party not once or twice, but 3 times. And every time the majority has been pretty substantial. Even in this last assembly, they have more than 2/3 majority.
I would like to respond to the person of Aam Aadmi Party that then I could say the same thing for BJP. So BJP is there for 2014, 2019, 2024. Rajasthan is with me. Chhattisgarh is with me. So what are you guys doing? You just have a Punjab. So don't give us this thing around. You are nowhere being seen in 2019 also. So I don't know what you're talking and what you're saying, that in Delhi you are being seen. You have never become, you could not just, you are a national party on what? On 2 seats or something? So how do you figure out yourself? And like this, what you've done is the corruption. And this corruption is not, and you have taken up the 2,000 crore, the revenue of the Delhi has been lost. 700 crore of the taxpayer money has been taken up. This is the CAG report. So what is it that we are looking into? Did you ask the people when you were making this policy? So Arvind Kejriwal, always a U-turn person. Has he ever ever had a talk with the RWA people? He has opened up in the non-confirming. Haven't we seen during that COVID period? We were dying. We were dying at that time. And he was busy giving the tender to all those people who are at the wholesalers and making the profits. He was having a connect with K. Kavita. Are you serious? So what we are looking into is that it's not about Modi, sir. It is not about Modi. It is not about BJP. It is about Arvind Kejriwal. It is about that Aam Aadmi Party. You brought a perception. You took away Congress seat. You took a slide out here in Delhi. What have you done with the votes? By showing us that they came back, they came back. What have you done with they came back? What have you done with the voters' trust?
Okay, so we got to leave it at that. I want to thank our guests. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one final break, and then when we come back, we'll go back to, all right, Somnath Bharti, who also happens to be, he's an MLA, he's also one of the candidates for the Aam Aadmi Party from the Delhi seat in the upcoming Lok Sabha election. Let's listen in to him, and then we'll take a break right after that. Yeah.
देखिए, जो कुछ भी देश में हो रहा है, उससे एक बात तो सिद्ध हो रहा है कि देश का लोकतंत्र खतरे में है, देश का संविधान खतरे में है। इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया एक चीज होती है, ये चीज की ड्यूटी है कि हम इलेक्शन को फ्री एंड फेयर करवाएं, लेकिन इलेक्शन कमीशन जो है इस वक्त चुनाव आयोग नहीं है, वो मोदी आयोग है, क्योंकि जो सिलेक्शन कमेटी था उसमें 3 आदमी और 2 आदमी तो यही है, तो जो कुछ भी ये कहेगा वो तोते की तरह उसका पालन करेगा। इलेक्शन कमीशन अगर फ्री एंड फेयर सिलेक्शन कराना चाहता है तो उसकी ड्यूटी है कि वो इंश्योर करे कि पॉलिटिकल अपोनेंट्स के लीडर्स को अरेस्ट ना किया जाए, इस प्रकार से हरास ना किया जाए, उनके बैंक अकाउंट्स को फ्रीज ना किया जाए। हो क्या रहा है, जब अगर आप बैंक अकाउंट्स फ्रीज कर देंगे, लीडर्स को अरेस्ट कर लेंगे, तो इलेक्शन कहाँ होगा, क्या फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन होगा? तो मुझे लग रहा है इस वक्त हम सबको मिलके पूरा हिंदुस्तान को आगे आना पड़ेगा और इंश्योर करना पड़ेगा कि भाई अगर देश बचाना है, अगर संविधान बचाना है, तो हम सब एक साथ होकर के इस डिक्टेटरशिप के खिलाफ खड़े हों, नहीं तो देश बचने वाला नहीं है। हम लोग मूव कर चुके हैं, अर्जेंट हियरिंग की डिमांड कर रहे हैं, अर्जेंट हियरिंग
us through what is the case that the ED has built against Mr. Kejriwal, because up until recently, he was not even mentioned as an accused in the various charge sheets that have been filed in this case so far.
Well, definitely, he though has not been made an accused in this particular case so far, but he had been asked to come for questioning for last 9 summons. He has skipped all of them, created a ground for in fact non-cooperation, which is a clear ground under Section 19 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which is the power to arrest of the Enforcement Directorate. You can see visuals right behind me. These are from the Chief Minister's residence. But what is very, very clear, the allegations, Zaka, against Arvind Kejriwal, number one, being that he had met Miss K. Kavita and in fact had demanded her of 100 crore of this 100 crore, 50 crore were being arranged by YSRCP MP Manguta Reddy. She had asked him to do so, and the other half was being arranged by in fact her own team. Not only that, he was a part of those meetings that had taken place while the particular policy, the flouty policy, was actually being drafted. His residence was the place where these meetings had taken place. These are statements of none other than C. Arvind, who is the former secretary of the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. In fact, a note was also handed over to him.
And ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the Liquorgate saga as Arvind Kejriwal has been taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate. Remember, he has skipped 9 summons, which has led to the showdown over the Liquorgate scandal. Thank you for joining me, Ayushman Singh Jamwal. As we continue to track all the developments which are coming in, those visuals on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, are from outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Now, the police teams as well as Enforcement Directorate teams are inside Arvind Kejriwal's residence, and he is set to exit his residence and head to the ED office anytime soon. Meanwhile, those visuals on the right side of your screen, you can also see that how the Aam Aadmi Party workers are hitting out at the central government, accusing it of vendetta politics, saying that this entire case is a sham when it comes to taking action in the Liquorgate scandal. Arvind Kejriwal facing the heat of the Liquorgate scandal. Now, this is the biggest arrest ever since this entire scandal came to light. That is the piece of news that's coming in. We are just waiting to see when will Arvind Kejriwal exit his residence and go to the ED office. And I'm joined by my colleague Arunima on the broadcast, who's reporting from outside the ED office to get the latest when it comes to the investigation. Arunima, what more can you get for us? By how much time do we expect Arvind Kejriwal to exit his residence and head to the ED office?
So while I'm speaking to you, Vijay Narendra is showing you visuals of senior officers from the local police, from the Delhi police, DCP rank.
officers who have now reached the Enforcement Directorate office. Arvind Kejriwal will be brought here shortly, but before that, there is complete police bandobast that is being checked, and those are the visuals on your screen there. DCP rank officials along with their other associates just taking a feel of what's required here on the ground. And the reason this kind of check is required is because there's a lot of concern whether the Aam Aadmi Party karyakartas will lose their sense of calm, lose their sense of logic, and do something which will create a law and order issue. To avoid that, we've already seen steps that are being taken at Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Some detentions have happened, and to avoid any repeat of that situation outside the ED office, the senior officers are and Narendra, if you can zoom in towards the other end of this lane also, there are barricades that have been put up, and police is the senior officials are just patrolling that entire area to ensure that there is no loophole and no problem as and when the Delhi Chief Minister is brought in. On our right is the Enforcement Directorate office. That is where Arvind Kejriwal will be brought in. In that lockup, he'll spend the night, and then tomorrow, because he's been arrested, post evening, ED has 24 hours time before they have to produce him at the Rouse Avenue court. They will want to ensure that his medical examination is also carried out here. Arvind Kejriwal in the past has had health issues. If you recall, even when during the Anna Hazare agitation and post that, there were health issues. So they want to ensure that any allegation is made against the ED's probe team of playing with the health of the incumbent Chief Minister of Delhi. So they will ensure medical examination in this building on my left here. And post that, tomorrow morning, I think there will be a production in court. It's only after the court grants them custody will the real questioning begin of Arvind Kejriwal. Possible confrontation with other accused also, including K. Kavita, who's already in ED custody till the 23rd of this month.
Right. Latest when it comes to the developments outside the ED office, let's head back to the scene outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Remember, he is still inside his residence as the ED conducted its raid as well as the searches at his residence. And now I'm joined by my colleagues Anshul as well as Ananya on the broadcast, who have been tracking all the developments coming in as the Enforcement Directorate took the custody of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. The biggest arrest in the Liquorgate scandal, ladies and gentlemen. Ananya, what is the latest from outside the Chief Minister's residence? Have the Aam Aadmi Party workers been moved out by the Delhi police? And at the same time, in how much time can we expect the Delhi Chief Minister to exit his residence?
Well, you saw drama unfolding at the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. You can see visuals right behind me also. Protests still continue. And in fact, various opposition leaders, whether we talk of Arvinder Singh Lovely or we talk of Sandeep Dixit, all are here. But what is very, very clear and categorical, Ayushman, at this point of time is that another battle is being fought, a battle to get an urgent hearing before the Supreme Court. And what we've been told by our sources in the Aam Aadmi Party legal team is very, very clearly that they have moved a request to the registrar there at the Supreme Court for an urgent hearing. But whether or not that is allowed, whether that reaches the Chief Justice of India, all these questions would be answered only after it can actually clear out the air as to whether or not these people would be able to secure an urgent hearing before the Supreme Court or not. But what we have to understand at this point of time is that 9 summons being skipped, and under PMLA, each summon skipped is like a digging up your own grave. Not only that, the Delhi High Court also clearly saying that no kind of no coercive action can be granted to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and that happened only after the court saw the material that the Enforcement Directorate had. If you remember, in the afternoon when the hearing had begun at around 12 a.m., the court asked the Enforcement Directorate to come back post-lunch, show it the material that it has against Arvind Kejriwal, and then it will make a decision as to whether or not interim relief shall be granted to Mr. Kejriwal or not in this particular case. And very clearly and categorically, later, the Enforcement Directorate, in fact, got a favorable order from the High Court and a sit-back coming in for the Delhi Chief Minister. Hours after that, ED teams reached Kejriwal's residence and he's now arrested in this particular case. The key acquisitions against him remain to be that he had asked Ms. K. Kavita to actually arrange for 100 crore rupees. He is the one who called Vijay Nair his own boy, who was one of the main conspirators in this particular case. And time and again, the Enforcement Directorate has been saying that this man is somebody who is one of the masterminds of this whole Delhi Liquorgate saga.
Absolutely. This is the biggest arrest in the Liquorgate scandal. Ananya, I'm also joined by my colleague Anshul, who's reporting from outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence as well. Anshul, when it comes to the support for Arvind Kejriwal, a lot of the India Alliance leaders are tweeting away to glory, saying that this is a witch hunt against the opposition. We also saw other leaders of the Congress party in the national capital also coming out, showing their support to the Delhi Chief Minister. This has become quite a cementing issue, if you will, for the India Alliance. What is the situation outside the residence? Are the crowds only getting bigger as everyone is waiting for Arvind Kejriwal to exit the residence?
As ordered by the Delhi police, the situation on the ground is absolutely under control at this point of time. The support is taken away.
Right, we'll try to reconnect with Anshul over there. The audio is, we have a bad line with them, but those visuals on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Anytime now, Arvind Kejriwal could exit his residence where he will be taken by the Enforcement Directorate team to the ED office, where my colleague Arunima is reporting. As Ananya was pointing out, remember, 9 summons have been skipped by Arvind Kejriwal, who has said that this is a completely a case of political vendetta on the road to the Lok Sabha elections, even saying that the BJP is spooked of the Aam Aadmi Party. And those visuals on your screen, on the left-hand side, the Delhi police cover right outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. He can exit any time now and head to the Enforcement Directorate office. This is the biggest arrest in the Liquorgate scandal. And on the right side of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the Aam Aadmi Party workers continuing to show support for the Supremo of the Aam Aadmi Party, saying that this is complete political vendetta against the Aam Aadmi Party on the road to the Lok Sabha elections. My colleague Ananya continues to be with us on the broadcast. He's reporting from outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Ananya, you were pointing out that when it comes to the PMLA, each summons that is skipped is a huge detriment when it comes to making a case against the charges, against the serious charges under PMLA, in this case, the Liquorgate scandal. Elaborate that for us, because Arvind Kejriwal continued to maintain, along with other Aam Aadmi Party leaders, that this was a complete witch hunt, that these charges were motivated. But by skipping each summon, how was Arvind Kejriwal making his case even worse?
Well, definitely. But first of all, Ayushman, for the benefit of our viewers, you can see this is the diary number which has been filed by Arvind Kejriwal. This is 13958. If you should see very clearly and categorically, I asked my camera person to show you this visual. This is the petition that is now actually listed before on the Supreme Court website, though the status still shows pending. So whether or not that urgent hearing at night would happen is something that will still sustains, but the petition definitely has now been filed. It's very, very clear. It's now showing up in the case status of the Supreme Court as well. But coming back to the case itself, 9 summons skipped. The Delhi High Court, after perusing the material, the case file that's been presented by the ED in a post-lunch session hearing, very clearly and categorically saying that no, sorry, we can't give you any kind of an interim relief. And not that only. Remember the previous proceeding before the Rouse Avenue Court, the proceeding before the ACMM, where he had already faced 2 complaints for skipping the summons. First for skipping the first 5 summons, and the next one for skipping the next 3 summons. And very clearly and categorically, he had to secure a bail in that particular case registered under section 174 of, in fact, the Indian Penal Code, which is with regards to a public servant not obeying the law, disobeying the law, and he could have faced imprisonment. However, that was a bailable offense, and very clearly and categorically, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal now arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. The main charge being that you were one of the key conspirators of this whole liquor policy. Various meetings have taken place at his residence. Statements of C. Arvind, former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia's personal secretary. Statements of
Ananya, I'm sorry to interrupt. We just need to take one quick break, ladies and gentlemen, because any time from now, Arvind Kejriwal could be exiting his residence and be taken to the Enforcement Directorate office. We're going to track all the developments coming in. For now, a quick break. More news and updates on the other side.
Was a draft policy which was also available with the South lobby, which had paid kickbacks in order to receive a favorable liquor policy in the national capital. Another big charge against Arvind Kejriwal is that he had welcomed Mr. Manguta Reddy's son, Raghav Manguta's entry into the Delhi liquor business and his company in the Delhi liquor business. Not only that, Vijay Nair is what he had so told Mr. Samir Mahindru on a FaceTime call. These are the allegations against him. Various people have given out statements against, in fact, the Delhi Chief Minister. He had been asked to by the Enforcement Directorate since the last year to come and appear before it, but very clearly and categorically denying all those 9 summons. He had been creating a ground for, in fact, non-cooperation. And as you know, Zaka, we were discussing earlier as well, from the very beginning, each summon skipped and in a case under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act is like digging up your own grave, taking the fate to your own hands. And finally, you can see Arvind Kejriwal being arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in this
Let me also, we have a whole bunch of guests from BJP, Aam Aadmi Party, other opposition parties, lawyers, etc., who are joining us in just a moment. But I also want to quickly go across to Anshul, who is joining us from outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence. What is the political...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So that is the drama on your screens right there. Arvind Kejriwal, Delhi Chief Minister, has been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in the Liquorgate scandal. This is the biggest arrest, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the entire Liquorgate saga. After Manish Sisodia, Sanjay Singh and K. Kavita, now the Chief Minister of Delhi, the man who runs the ship of the Aam Aadmi Party, is now in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate. Those visuals on the left side of your screen are from outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. He is set to exit his residence anytime soon, along with the ED team, and he will be taken to the Enforcement Directorate office. Now, at the same time, several top leaders of not just the Aam Aadmi Party, but even the Congress Party are outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence in solidarity with the Chief Minister of Delhi, calling this a witch hunt, vendetta politics on the road to the Lok Sabha elections. To get the latest from outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence, where all this drama is unfolding, I'm joined by my colleague Anshul Singh on the broadcast. Anshul, over to you.
So yes, if that question was to me, you can see in the visuals there is movement that has started happening over here outside the residence of the Delhi Chief Minister. Several vehicles of the Delhi police is already moving towards the exit. So in all likelihood, we are expecting that this is the cavalcade in which the Delhi Chief Minister would be taken away. The gates are wide open now. 4 to 5 vehicles of the Delhi police. So the Delhi Chief Minister is being taken out. The visual that you are seeing on your screens right now, the Chief Minister is finally being taken out. The first vehicle is of the police pilot vehicle that has been taken away. The second vehicle is of the ED officials, and now one by one, the entire cavalcade has moved out. The Chief Minister has been taken away from state towards the Enforcement Directorate. So yes, the ED cavalcade has now moved out from outside the residence of the Chief Minister's office and straight will head towards the ED office. You can see the security personnel that were over here. They are also returning back. The Delhi police, the CRPF that were deployed over here, all of them have been taken back. Few people have started sloganing over here. But yes, the Delhi police has managed to make sure that people are taken out. The Chief Minister is taken out from here with safety. Finally, the Delhi Chief Minister has been taken out. He has now officially been taken to the Enforcement Directorate office. What sources are now telling us that for tomorrow as well, we are expecting that the Chief Minister would not be taken to the Rouse Avenue court. He, in all likelihood, would be presented in front of the court virtually is what sources are confirming to us at this point in time, because this is a situation that could happen even after the manner in which the Delhi police was trying to secure the entire area. Protesters have managed to reach over here. Sloganeering has started, and the Chief Minister has been taken away from here. We are expecting that within the next 10 minutes, the Chief Minister will reach the Enforcement Directorate office, where he would be kept in the lockup. And tomorrow, once he is presented in front of the courts, the Enforcement Directorate is going to ask for an extended custody. Once that custody is given, he would be confronted with the other accused in the matter, and also he would be confronted with the evidences that the Delhi police has been able to, evidences that the Enforcement Directorate, I beg your pardon, has been able to gather of Arvind Kejriwal over the last 2 years of investigation. So yes, more trouble for Delhi Chief Minister. More the situation over here is also slowly getting out of hand. The people are being forced to move away from here. Police trying to shoo away the people, the protesters who had gathered over here. You can see they are now sitting on the roads. The sloganeering is continuing, but yes, the Chief Minister is finally has been taken away from his residence now. The area is now being cleared and now is being opened for traffic. The police is trying to make sure that the area could be opened for traffic now. But yes, the manner in which this entire incident has happened, the turn of events that we have seen happening over the last 2.5 hours has definitely been a surprise for a lot of people. In fact, for the Aam Aadmi Party itself, because they were not expecting that the Enforcement Directorate would jump into action so very quickly and with such prominence that they would reach the residence of the Chief Minister, arrest him, and then take him away. Remember, not only the Chief Minister has been arrested, but what sources have confirmed to us that at least 4 to 5 mobile phones along with 2 tablets belonging to the Chief Minister and his family has been also taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate. So yes, definitely a big, massive coercive action taken by the Enforcement Directorate against the Delhi Chief Minister. How will things eventually pan out tomorrow in front of the Rouse Avenue Court? That is something that remains to be seen. But one thing is for sure, that in all likelihood, the Delhi Chief Minister would not be taken physically to the court. He would be presented virtually, is what sources are indicating at this point in time. It depends on how the law and order situation remains tomorrow morning, because remember, the Rouse Avenue Court is very, very close to the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters, and taking the Delhi Chief Minister from that route to the Rouse Avenue Court is going to be a very, very troublesome task, and that is the reason why the sources are saying that they will look as to what can be done tomorrow morning. But yes, in all likelihood, he would be presented virtually in front of the court, where the Enforcement Directorate is going to ask for an extended custody of the Delhi Chief Minister. Remember, K. Kavita is already under the custody of the Enforcement Directorate, and she is also very much inside the ED office itself, and she is supposed to be presented before the Rouse Avenue Court on the 23rd of March, that is day after tomorrow. So yes, both K. Kavita and Arvind Kejriwal will be inside the Enforcement Directorate office. What is also very, very pertinent to note is the manner in which the investigation went ahead, and the Delhi Chief Minister was summoned for the 9th time today itself, because the statements that have been given by the close aides of K. Kavita, in which they have narrated as to how the Delhi Chief Minister himself asked for a kickback of rupees 100 crores, out of which 50 crores was given to him in cash, and then eventually another 30 crores was also given to the Aam Aadmi Party. So these are the very serious allegations that have been put forth against him. The Enforcement Directorate is very, very confident. In fact, the sources have confirmed to us is that they have ample amount of proof which could eventually make sure that the Delhi Chief Minister is convicted with this stricter of punishment, because he was somewhere or the other the kingpin of this entire alleged liquor policy scam that happened out here in the national capital. What will happen tomorrow? That is something that remains to be seen. But yes, the manner in which the things have unfolded, the events have turned over the last 2 hours, has definitely come as a massive, massive surprise for the Aam Aadmi Party as well as for its supporters.
Absolutely. And in just the next 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, Arvind Kejriwal will reach the ED office, which is just about 15 minutes from his residence. And I'm joined by my colleague Arunima, who's reporting from outside the ED office, where the roads have been cleared so that there is no security situation given the movement of the Chief Minister and the ED team. Arunima, what's the latest?
What is the latest? Narendra is showing you all the halchal behind me. All the police brass here have been put on high alert. They're expecting Arvind Kejriwal and the cavalcade, which is leading him. About 12 officials from Enforcement Directorate initially went to his residence. Soon they were supplemented by others, and now all of them are expected to reach the AD office shortly. So the media has been asked to stay on just one side. Here towards the main gate of the Enforcement Directorate, the road has been sealed. Nobody can go beyond this point. I think this particular barricade will be moved only once Arvind Kejriwal's vehicle is brought in. And there at the gate, once again, Narendra, if you can pan towards the gate, you can see more security personnel in waiting right at the gate of the Enforcement Directorate. Kejriwal is expected, the vehicle carrying him is expected to move inside that gate in about 10 to 12 minutes from now. It's a long distance from Kejriwal's residence to the ED office here, but a green corridor has been created. Each district which comes in that entire route, the DCPs have been put on high alert. The New Delhi district DCP himself is here at ground zero, and they are ensuring that the main road leading up to the Enforcement Directorate has been cleared. All vehicles, including our own and media broadcast vans, other vans, they were asked to just move out to create the corridor. Aam Aadmi Party karyakartas, to prevent them on both sides of the main road also, barricades have been put out. So in the next 10 to 12 minutes, we are told, just before midnight, they don't want things to reach a stage where halla gulla continues beyond midnight. So in the next 12 minutes or so, they're expecting Arvind Kejriwal and the cavalcade carrying him to reach here. A repeat of when we saw Sanjay Singh being brought to the ED headquarters after his arrest. At that point, Sanjay Singh had smiled and said ki arrest galat hai. Let's see if Arvind Kejriwal also gets a chance to roll down the windows and say anything. His party has contended, he has contended that this is political vendetta. But ahead of the festival of Holi, Arvind Kejriwal being brought to the Enforcement Directorate headquarters, where K. Kavita is already in custody in the liquor policy scam. So two big politicians now will be in ED's custody. ED will produce Arvind Kejriwal in the Rouse Avenue court tomorrow and seek custody. Okay, now there's more movement. Looks like the cavalcade have started moving. Let's try and get you a sense of what is happening here. There are some vehicular movements here. Okay, not yet of the cavalcade carrying Arvind Kejriwal, but yes, patrolling vehicles of Delhi police are coming in once again to sanitize that route, to ensure that there is no problem on that route. These are Delhi Police's Prakhar vehicle sanitizing that route, which Arvind Kejriwal's cavalcade will ultimately take. So a lot of anticipation for the media here at the ED headquarters and for the policemen deployed. You're seeing, messages coming in on their personal devices, messages to tell them what really is happening. So they're on their walkie-talkies. They're taking in messages from the other police officers deployed on the route and sanitizing this entire area. That's the scene. That's the feel of what it is like at the Enforcement Directorate headquarters here in New Delhi.
Right, and Arunima, as Arvind Kejriwal goes into the ED office in the next 10 minutes, will the Aam Aadmi Party workers, many of whom have been protesting outside his residence, are they likely to be allowed to stay outside the ED office, or is there no chance that the police will allow any congregations anywhere near the ED office as Arvind Kejriwal is inside?
Well, I would stick my neck out and say there's no chance at all, because the Delhi police has done a very strong bandobast. This is the main gate. Once again, to give you a sense, this is the main gate of the Enforcement Directorate. There's another gate on the other side from the masjid side of 30 January Marg. If they attempt to come in from that side, there is police bandobast on that gate also. At the far end of this particular stretch of the road too, you can see two policemen from the paramilitary deployed, other plainclothes men also keeping an eye. So nobody can come through that back gate. Here on my right, there is the Israel embassy side. There's another gate from here. That stretch itself, there's a huge banner which says Section 144 has been imposed, so nobody can come in. So that has been packed completely. There's just one route from where I just showed you the Delhi police Prakhar vehicle patrolling. So just one route has been kept open, and that's the only route. And even there at the main gate, there's heavy police bandobast. The DCP rank officials are keeping an eye. So there's no way that any Aam Aadmi Party karyakarta is going to be allowed by the Delhi police to come here. They do not want, even when earlier Arvind Kejriwal was sent summons, he has evaded 9 summons before he was finally taken into custody. So even when previously summons used to go to him, Delhi police would ensure that this entire area was completely sanitized. Today, when Kejriwal has been arrested, the sitting Chief Minister of Delhi has been arrested. There's no way that Delhi police is going to let this create, let this situation get out of hand and create a situation where any kind of chaos, any kind of law and order situation is created. Okay, the Delhi police personnel asking me to get out of this green zone,
Right.
which means they now have a message. Narendra, if you come back, these are messages being given by the Delhi police officials here that they have got intimation Arvind Kejriwal should be here any moment, and that's why we are being asked to just stay away. This is the line, the human barricade that has been created. We are being asked to stay away. No way that Aam Aadmi Party Karyakartas will be allowed in.
Absolutely. Any moment now, Arvind Kejriwal will arrive at the ED office. Arunima there tracking all the developments as there is a very strict bandobast being put in place by the Delhi police over there at the ED office. Arunima, thank you for joining us. Please continue to track all the developments on the ground. We'll keep coming back to you for the latest when it comes to Arvind Kejriwal's custody by the Enforcement Directorate. But we're also getting a reaction now by Delhi Minister Saurabh Bharadwaj, who continues to lambast the centre, ladies and gentlemen, calling it vendetta politics at play, where Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested in the Liquorgate scandal. This is the biggest arrest ever since this scandal came to light.
अभी ईडी की कई सारी गाड़ियों के अंदर मुख्यमंत्री जी को ले जाया गया। सीधी मंशा ईडी की मुख्यमंत्री जी को अरेस्ट करने की ही थी। कोई पूछताछ नहीं थी, कोई प्रश्न नहीं था, सब कोर्ट के अंदर नाटक किया जा रहा था। मुख्यमंत्री जी के घर की पूरी तलाशी इस छापे में ली गई। सिर्फ 70,000 रुपए नकद मिले जो कि ईडी वापस लौटा के चली गई। मुख्यमंत्री जी का मोबाइल लिया गया और मुख्यमंत्री जी को गिरफ्तार करके ले गए हैं। पूरे छापे में कोई सबूत, कोई एविडेंस, कोई प्रॉपर्टी का कागज, कोई गैर कानूनी पैसा, कोई मनी ट्रेल नहीं मिली। बात बिल्कुल साफ है, अगर अपोजिशन के अंदर प्रधानमंत्री जी किसी से डरते हैं और उनको लगता है कि उनका कोई विकल्प है भारत में, तो वो अरविंद केजरीवाल है। और मैं दोबारा यही बात कहूंगा कि वो अरविंद केजरीवाल को गिरफ्तार कर सकते थे, उन्होंने किया क्योंकि आज उनके पास सत्ता है, आज उनके पास सारी की सारी एजेंसियां हैं, उनको रोकने वाला कोई नहीं है। जो चाहे प्रधानमंत्री करें। अभी तक 2 मुख्यमंत्रियों को गिरफ्तार किया है, हो सकता है औरों को भी कर ले। मगर अरविंद केजरीवाल की सोच, अरविंद केजरीवाल एक आइडिया है जो हर गली, हर मोहल्ले में अब तैयार हो रहा है। हमारे वकील शाम को सुप्रीम कोर्ट की रजिस्ट्री में उन्होंने अपनी पिटीशन दायर की, इस अरेस्ट को चैलेंज किया कि ये गैर कानूनी है, गैर संवैधानिक है। कोर्ट की रजिस्ट्री ने कहा कि उन्होंने सुप्रीम कोर्ट के मुख्य न्यायाधीश को ये मैसेज दे दिया है, मगर कोई जवाब नहीं मिला। तो हमारे वकील सुप्रीम कोर्ट के रजिस्ट्रार साहब से मिलने गए हैं, उनसे बातचीत करेंगे और हमारा सुप्रीम कोर्ट से करबद्ध निवेदन है, हाथ जोड़ के निवेदन है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट रात को ही मुख्यमंत्री जी की जो याचिका हमने दायर की है उसको सुने और दिल्ली को, देश को और हमें न्याय दे।
आगे सरकार कैसे चलेगी, क्योंकि अब इन्फेक्चुअस हो चुकी है जो आपकी याचिका है, जो गिरफ्तारी हो चुकी है।
2 पिटीशन थे, एक गलत खबर चलाई जा रही है कि इन्फेक्चुअस हो गई है। नहीं, हमारी 2 अलग अलग प्रेयर थी कि मुख्यमंत्री जी की गिरफ्तारी इमिनेंट है, होने वाली है, लिहाजा उसको रोका जाए और यदि इस दौरान गिरफ्तारी हो जाती है तो उस गिरफ्तारी के ऊपर भी कोर्ट रोक लगाए, तो वो इन्फेक्चुअस नहीं है। दूसरी बात, सरकार, हम लोगों ने सारे विधायकों से सलाह की, सारे काउंसलर से सलाह की, दिल्ली के एक वार्ड के अंदर हमने सभा की। सबका कहना था कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का मैंडेट है दिल्ली की जनता चाहती है अरविंद केजरीवाल सरकार चलाएं, तो अरविंद केजरीवाल ही सरकार चलाएंगे। जेल के अंदर से भी अरविंद केजरीवाल जी हमारे मुख्यमंत्री हैं, दिल्ली के नेता हैं।
Right, so Saurabh Bharadwaj, they're very confident that Arvind Kejriwal will be able to run the Delhi government from behind bars, from ED custody. A very kind of like optimistic tone coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party, as this is the biggest arrest in the Liquorgate scandal, ladies and gentlemen. But let's get to our guests. We're joined by Mahima Singh, spokesperson of the Congress, Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst, Ashish Dikshit, lawyer, as well as Tushar Gupta, senior journalist, joining us on the broadcast. Mahima Singh, I'll come to you first. Top Congress leaders in the national capital coming there to show solidarity with Arvind Kejriwal. The same Aam Aadmi Party jailing your leaders in the state of Punjab on corruption charges, and now you're standing shoulder to shoulder with someone who's been called the kingpin of the Liquorgate scandal. How do you see that? Isn't that a gross kind of hypocrisy in your political messaging?
Jay, this is an orchestrated sabotage of the democracy at the behest of the BJP, at the behest of very scared and petrified BJP today. The BJP is utterly nervous, Ayushman. That is very clear. Anybody and everybody can see that with the SBI electoral bonds data coming out today and shocking revelations being made. The BJP has actually come out and said, we have not maintained our records. We don't have any money trail there. But they will go on arresting CM after CM. MPs will be suspended. These are public representatives. It is not one chief minister that they arrest when they do, or it is not merely one member of the parliament that they suspend when they do. This is millions of Indian voices that are being insulted by the BJP on the floor of the parliament. In the state of Delhi, in Jharkhand, we saw the arrest of Hemant Soren. So the BJP has lost its mental balance.
No, but
the
Mahima
BJP
Singh, because you yourself are a lawyer, I just wanted to make this point clear. Are you saying that these arrests, like from Sanjay Singh to Manish Sisodia to now even Arvind Kejriwal, have no legal backing? These are completely illegal. Is that your position?
Ayushman, I want to ask, what happened to the probes against Ajit Pawar? What happened to the probe against Suvendu Adhikari, Narayan Rane, Himanta Biswa Sarma?
I don't think they've been given a clean chit, but my point is, my question is this illegal what is happening? My big question to you is, you're a lawyer, you're a responsible person to make legally valid statements. Is what is happening to these top Aam Aadmi Party leaders illegal?
I am asking you, does this appear normal to you? Whether legal or illegal? No. Hold on, Ayushman. Whether legal or illegal, all the opposition leaders being arrested and a strong public representative being arrested right ahead of the elections. Does this look normal to you? Are we not headed the Germany way? Are we not headed the Russia, China way?
But does it matter if it's legally valid? Are you telling us that the same way extrajudicial
the laws must apply to all.
I'm talking about extrajudicial arrests.
Equally.
I'm talking about extrajudicial arrests take place in China and Russia. Are you comparing what's happening over here to China and Russia? Given the fact that courts have denied bail to Sanjay Singh, Manish Sisodia, and the Aam Aadmi Party has arrested your very leaders at the end of the day in the state of Punjab. I ask you once again, one simple yes or no question. Is what is happening to Arvind Kejriwal and the top Aam Aadmi Party leadership illegal?
Ayushman, the Supreme Court has agreed to hear this case at 11:45 tonight. We will know whether it is illegal or not. Let's wait for the hearing. Let's see what the Supreme Court says.
Yeah, but so far you've heard what the trial court said, what the High Court said, what other courts have also said. They haven't rubbished the charges. So I think you should make the responsible statement saying that any action that is taking place in this case, there is judicial backing for that. Tushar Gupta, it's been a long time since we've chatted on a debate. Please go ahead. What did you have to say?
Ayushman, firstly, the constitutionality of the arrest has to be decided by the courts, not by any party spokesperson, be the Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress Party. Ironically, the Congress spokesperson seems to be forgetting that the party that registered the first
Tushar, I'm very sorry. I beg your pardon. We're getting a big development coming in when it comes to the a Supreme Court hearing. Remember, the Aam Aadmi Party had moved the Supreme Court, and now what we are learning is that there will be no hearing tonight. And my colleague Ananya is getting us the latest on that. Ananya, over to you.
Well, my sources tell me very, very clearly, the legal sources in the Aam Aadmi Party very clearly and categorically confirm that no urgent hearing has been granted by the Supreme Court for tonight at least. The urgent hearing would be granted tomorrow is what we have been told, though the timing of it has not been confirmed yet. And in fact, the case status at the Supreme Court website very, very clearly still shows that the petition is pending. So the timing is not yet confirmed, though urgent hearing as told by lawyers is something that we'll have to recheck in the morning tomorrow because, sometimes there are more urgent matters that the Supreme Court has to take. But whether or not the CM's fate would be decided by the Supreme Court, whether the Enforcement Directorate would come out with a strong case before the Supreme Court or not, and another legal battle that is to take place before the Rouse Avenue Court tomorrow.
Right. So the latest that's coming in is that top sources are telling us the Supreme Court will not hear this case tonight. And those visuals on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, we're cutting to the ED office where Arvind Kejriwal has arrived. He's been taken into ED custody just about a half an hour back, almost an hour back. In fact, he's been taken into ED custody after being grilled for 2 hours by the Enforcement Directorate. My colleague Arunima is reporting live from outside the ED office. Arunima, over to you.
I can't hear you very clearly, Ayushman. There's a lot of chaos here, but if you can hear me, Arvind Kejriwal or the cavalcade carrying Arvind Kejriwal has just, come to the Enforcement Directorate office. A vehicle just passed through, and it was a kind of a very fast movement that was ensured, and he was taken inside. Senior officers of the Delhi police also were here just shortly before that vehicle came in, and now here you see the deployment still. There are ACP rank officer, DCP rank officer, the special CP law and order, Madhuk Tiwari himself, who's ensuring that everything goes without any problem. The Aam Aadmi Party Karyakartas who created such a scene outside Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal's residence, they were given a miss. And in no time, the vehicle carrying the Chief Minister was brought inside the ED office. He has been taken inside. There are more vehicles coming in. These are vehicles carrying senior Government of India officials going into the ED office. Yes, these are the ED officials who were earlier, at the CM residence questioning. Now the vehicles are bringing them in also. So the ED team, which was questioning Arvind Kejriwal, they are also now coming back. There are more vehicles here. Okay, Delhi police is escorting more officials are being brought in. Delhi police vehicles one by one are coming in. The entire cavalcade is coming back to the Enforcement Directorate office, and you can see how these cavalcades are being pushed in. There was a lot of worry, lot of concern that Aam Aadmi Party Karyakartas will create a scene, but Delhi police has managed to create a situation whereby the entire movement of the cavalcade happens without any problem. Other than these Delhi police vehicles carrying senior ED officials, carrying Delhi police officials, there's also a police van behind this that Narendra perhaps is showing you. There's a huge Delhi police van carrying in more reinforcement. So that vehicle has followed Arvind Kejriwal's cavalcade, and he has finally been brought to the ED office. He will be taken inside now for his medical examination. The medical examination will be carried in the ED office itself, and then he will be questioned by the IO. Overnight, perhaps, not much time will be spent. It's already close to midnight. Overnight, perhaps not much time will be spent in questioning him. But early morning, he will be taken for another round of medical examination before he's produced in the Rouse Avenue court. So that's the sequence of events from here on. Arvind Kejriwal overnight will be here at the Enforcement Directorate office. This is where he will be overnight. He has been brought to the ED headquarters, and now all the procedure that I just narrated will begin.
Absolutely. So those visuals on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, the man who 10 years back was leading the fight against corruption along with Anna Hazare against the Congress party. Now he is in alliance with the Congress party and at the same time has been accused of corruption in the Delhi Liquorgate scandal. Let's go back to our guests, ladies and gentlemen, as Arvind Kejriwal arrives at the ED office in the national capital after being taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate. Mahima Singh, Syed Asad Abbas, Ashish Dikshit and Tushar Gupta continue to be with us on the broadcast. Tushar, I was sorry to interrupt. We were getting all those updates, which were coming in when it comes to this case. Please continue what you were saying.
Ayushman, I'm worried. I'm a little worried. There seems to be a pandemic outside on social media. It seems everyone in the Congress party is having a collective memory failure. Between 2022 and 2023, everyone in the Congress, especially in the Delhi Congress, were asking for a probe into the excise policy scam. Arvinder Lovely Singh, who was the first one to reach the CM residence, was in fact saying that we support all sorts of investigations. Sandeep Dikshit also over there around the CM residence was saying that I'm surprised there have not been 10 CBI raids because there is a scam everywhere in the Aam Aadmi Party government. Rahul Gandhi, while campaigning in Telangana, was attacking K. Kavita and saying she's involved in the Delhi liquor scam, and today he talks about dictatorship. So it appears everyone in the Congress party is tonight having a memory hiccup. Nothing is going on. Everyone is using Arvind Kejriwal, who's right now under the grill, to barbecue their own political prospects. That is what is going on. And about Arvind Kejriwal, look, the arrest and the constitutionality of it will be decided by the court. Let's not forget he approached the Delhi High Court today. The Delhi High Court directed the ED to produce evidence, which they did around 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon today, after which the HC denied Arvind Kejriwal any respite. Let's be very clear about the facts. Let's also be very clear about the fact that Arvind Kejriwal ignored 9 summons from the ED. Let's not also forget that last year when Manish Sisodia was arrested around February this time, the Aam Aadmi, while approaching the Supreme Court, did not cite political vendetta or did not say their fundamental rights were being violated. Instead, they said that we are ready to cooperate with the investigation, just do not arrest Manish Sisodia. And let's also remember, Manish Sisodia has not been given a bail for a year because in October 23, the ED, before the Supreme Court, stated that they have tentatively established a money trail of rupees 338 crore, and that is when the Supreme Court directed them to wrap up the trial as soon as possible. So everyone crying political vendetta, the absence of a money trail, this being, the center government's some sort of masterstroke or something, they all are simply lying. The Congress trying to showcase some support there. It was the Congress, I would like to remind the Congress spokesperson here, that filed the very first complaint in the excise policy scam. What are they talking about tonight, really?
Absolutely. So that is the conundrum that, comes to the fore at the end of the day. As Tushar Gupta is pointing out, Rahul Gandhi attacks K. Kavita in Telangana when it comes to Delhi excise policy scam. Top Congress leaders in the national capital are attacking the Aam Aadmi Party when it comes to the Liquorgate scandal. Now everyone is in this strange sense of solidarity with Arvind Kejriwal now taken into ED custody. So the conundrums galore situation is taking place in the India alliance. Let's get to our other guests as well, as the Congress party and the other alliance partners in the India bloc are coming and